Greetings everyone, once again is Motamwanidi sharing the authentic truth brought to us by Zulula 100. And here we are going to share the teaching regarding the Kamites and Hebrew Israelites all in confusion to expose their lies, their confusions, their contradictions, their basic lack of history, lack of understanding, lack of sense. Now, in Proverbs chapter 19 verse 2, you're told, it is not good for soul to be without knowledge. So it is not good for soul. It is not good for the black man to be without knowledge, to be in confusion regarding his history. Proverbs 25 verse 2, it is the glory of God to conceal things, but it is the glory of kings to search things out. In John 3:11, you're told, truly, truly, I say to you, we speak of what we know. We speak that which we know, and we bear witness to that which we have seen. John 8:32, you're told, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Now, we shall start with the first part regarding the Kemites, the Kamites, Chem. For them, they're going to claim that the whole land, this whole surface of the continent, basically Africa, they're gonna say that it was named Cam. And for them, for some of the Kemites, because they don't even agree between each other, all Kemites are black and all blacks are Kemites. Already you see the confusion, you see the delusion. They try to act like they're smart, and they're going to try to find knowledge in so-called ancient Egypt, but they will be confused because they're not mandated. Hebrews chapter 5 verse 11, New International Version. We have so much to say about this, but it is hard to make it clear to you because you no longer try to understand. New Living Translation, but it is difficult to explain, especially since you are spiritually dull and don't seem to listen. In Isaiah 6:10, make the heart of these people calloused, make their ears dull and close their eyes, otherwise they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and to turn and be healed. Many people are hard of hearing, don't understand, don't comprehend, are rebellious, are spiritually dull. Because what they don't understand, the so-called Kemites, this is the first part, is regarding the origin. Because they don't even know the origin of the black man, of the black race. Because they're going to try to associate themselves with Ham or Cam, which way it is where they're taking the root for Kemites or Kamites from Ham. But before Ham, black people were already on earth, because Noah himself was black, and before Noah there were already civilizations and civilization. Before ancient Egypt, there were civilization. The first man was black. We're going to use the current classical day Bible here. In Genesis chapter 2 verse 6, you're told, but a stream came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground, period. So regarding the Garden of Eden, you're told in Genesis, in the beginning, that stream came up from the earth and watered the whole surface of the ground. So the whole land was covered in water, so it was muddy. It was mud, the soil. And in Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, it says, God took some soil of the ground and made a man. God breathed life into the man, and the man started breathing. Now here it says, took some soil. In the Orient Bible, you're told, and Lord God formed a man from the slime of the earth and breathed into his face the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So the slime is the silt, and it is black. So the earth that was used to form the first man, it was the black earth. and you can research regarding the Seule, regarding the Slim, even in ancient Egypt, regarding the phenomenon of the flood on the Nile River, the banks. Now, and after that first man, he also has descendant, and we see the descendant in Genesis 5:3. And Adam, here Adam is in the current class day Bible, that's the name they use, but is the first man is Moto. Lived 130 years. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and named him Seth. So you're told that Adam, the first man who was black, had a son in his own image, in his own likeness, so that his descendants were also black. Even Cain, Abel, all those descendants of the first man were black people. That's the knowledge that the Kamites don't know. They're not aware because they believe in the lie that the white man has told them regarding the curse of Ham or the curse of Canaan, because they will say they come from Ham and they come from that lineage, because the fake Jews have tried to say that Noah has cursed his son, and some people are going to claim that when he cursed him, he became black. So the Kamites, they will think, some of them, I mean, are you not ashamed of believing those type of lies? They will believe that black people come from a curse. And many black people follow those type of doctrine. Are you literally insane? So, the first man, black people don't come from Ham directly. We know that Noah was black, his sons were black, his descendants were black. But the source, the origin of the black race is not with Cam, is not with Ham, is not with Canaan. It was way before that. The source of civilization, it's not in Egypt. That's not where it began. Before Egypt, there were civilization and civilizations. Because even the kingdom of Ethiopia, ancient Ethiopia, they were there before Egypt. Now, when we go in Genesis 9, verse 18, you're told, the sons of Noah came out of the ark with Sem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham was the father of Canaan. These three were the sons of Noah, and from them the whole earth was populated. So this is the lie that the Kamites have taken, because they believe the lie that this is from which the whole population came, from the sons of Noah. And that's a complete lie. That's a complete lie. First, Noah could not have built that ark only with his family. No. And there were other people that were also saved. Because some black people are going to say, okay, the sons of Noah came out of the ark were Sem, Ham, and Japheth. Some black people are going to say, okay, so Ham is for the black people, and other will think, no, Sem is for the black people. That's the Hebrew Israelite. You see, each one of them will try to pick a branch where they don't even understand the tree. And they are in confusion. For your information, Noah was black, so all his sons were black people. So why are you trying to say, no, we come from Ham, when his father and his ancestors were already black? It's because you believe in the lie that this is where everything began, and that's the origin of the race. This is not where the race appeared. Ham, Kamite is not a race. Stop your delusion. Now, they will believe Genesis 9 verse 24, which says, when Noah awoke from his drunkenness and learned what his youngest son had done to him, comma. First of all, it says here what his youngest son had done. But the youngest son wasn't Ham. The youngest son was Japheth. So you see the contradiction in the current classical Bible. And it is those contradictions that some black people are taking the lies that the white man has told them. They're taking the lie and they're going forward, taking their own branch, making up their own ideology. And he said in verse 25, cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be through his brothers. And this is the passage that some racists will take to try to claim, oh, you see Canaan, so that's the curse, and those are black people. You don't know history. Before Canaan, before Ham, black people were already there. And for a question for you, when he says cursed be Canaan, was it Canaan that saw him drunk, or was it Ham? So why is it cursing the grandchildren, his grandchild? And the question is, was his grandchild, was he even alive at that time? Now, we go, because some of them will also believe that Noah was albinos, or he was white, or he was mixed. No. Don't get things confused. We go in Genesis 10. In Genesis 10, we're going to see regarding the sons of Noah. We're going to show you that all of them are black. It says, the Hamites, in verse 6, the son of Ham, Cush, Egypt, Put, and Canaan. So that's where the so-called Kamites gonna take, this is where we begin. This is the origin for black people. They are a descendant of Noah. So for them, Noah was white. And how can he be white and then his children, his son, is black? It makes no sense. This is the account in verse 1. This is the account of Sem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons, who themselves had sons after the flood. Now, we are going to go in the original version, Bibèl, Kalatambale, and we're going to show you the origin. Because the current classical Bible, that the Nephilims have tried to lie and force, is not it. We're going in Mandaté, the origin, chapter 2, verse 7. Here in Bibèl, and I will translate here. It says, in the seventh phenomenal manifestation indivisible, Loba, by the manifestation of his will, therefore, fashioned the visible body of Moto, the very first black man from the silt of the earth. Period. You see? That's the origin. That's the beginning of the black race in the visible. For men. Now, the second part is regarding the so-called Hebrew Israelites. because some of them will try to go on the streets, shout. It's not because you're shouting that it means you're in the wrong, in the right. In Genesis chapter 10, verse 21, you're told, and sons were also born to Shem, the older brother of Japheth. Sem or Shem was the forefather of all the sons of Eber. You see, the Hebrew Israelites did themselves, they're going to take, oh, we come from Sem, Shem, and that's where black people are in their understanding. They're going to claim that's the origin, that's the lineage, without knowing that all the brothers of Shem were black. And they disagree with the Kamites, who are going to take the other brother, and they're going to take the other brother. You see the confusion of those doctrines? How is that going to save you? How are those doctrines, where are they bringing you? What are they even preaching? Now, Eber, we're going to go, because when they call themselves Hebrew Israelites, they don't even know the definition of the name Hebrew. What does Hebrew means? What is it? Hebrew is to traverse, to pass over, or also on the other side of the river. So Hebrew is name, a noun for someone who travels, like a nomad, a traveler. That's why Abraham was called an Hebrew, because he traveled, he was a wanderer, he went from region to regions. You out there, you call yourself Hebrew Israelite, but you have a house. Some of you didn't even live, never have left maybe the country where you're born. But you're calling yourself Hebrew Israelite because you don't know the definition, because you're in complete confusion. And Abraham wasn't the first Hebrew. Because even when we go in Genesis chapter 4, verse 12, you're told, no longer will the ground yield crops for you, no matter how hard you work. From now on, you will be a homeless wanderer on the earth. Period. So here in the current classic of the Bible, you're told that Cain was to be a wanderer. And we know that the wanderer, the person that traveled, the nomad, it is an Hebrew. So you're not even aware. Now, when we go in Numbers 24, verse 24, it says, ships from the shores of Cyprus, they will subdue Ashur and Eber, but they too will come to ruin. Aramaic Bible in plain English. And they shall destroy Assyria, and they shall destroy also Hebrews. So you see, Hebrews, they come from Eber, because Eber was a person. It was a name. That's why in the Amplified Bible of Genesis 10:21, you're told, also Shem, the father of all the children of Eber, in bracket, including the Hebrews, the older brother of Japheth, children were born. Period. When they will read this, they will not understand the term Hebrew. In ancient Africa, when they named people, it was regarding the circumstance, their mission, undivisible. The names had a meaning. For example, Noah, his name means to rest. Now, does that mean every time we saw Noah, he was resting? No. So, Hebrew is not a race. It's not a race of people. Hebrews, it's not a race. And some of them they're gonna call themselves Israelite as well. Israelites. And that's also another confusion. Because Israelite, what is Israelites? What does it mean? For that we go in the beginning regarding that term for the Israelites regarding Jacob. In Genesis chapter 32 verse 26, it says, "Then the man said, 'Let me go, for it is daybreak.' But Jacob replied, 'I will not let you go unless you bless me,'" period. Verse 27, "What is your name?" The man asked. "Jacob," he replied. Verse 28, "Then the man said, 'Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel,'" So here it was regarding Jacob. So Jacob was named Israel. He says, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but we know that his name was still Jacob, and he was called Jacob even later on. So already the current Seule Bible confusion. "But Israel, because you have struggled with God and with man, and have prevailed." How can you prevail against God? Those who have written this don't even understand. But we have to understand it means Israel is to win the war. Because Jacob, he fought spiritually and he won. That's why he was named Jacob. He was named Israel. But you out there who call yourself Hebrew Israelites, so the wanderers who have won the war, what have you won? Which war have you won? Many of you are in other countries, in the US, maybe in Canada. Many of you are oppressed, are under rule, under domination of the foreigners. What did you win? Did you win any spiritual battle? No. But you call yourself Hebrew Israelites because you're in complete confusion. Now, when he says that he won the war against God, he won because you have struggled with God and with men and you have prevailed. But in Hebrew chapter 7, verse 7, it is said, "And without question, the person who has the power to give a blessing is greater than the one who is blessed." And in verse 29 of Genesis 32, you're told, "And Jacob requested, 'Please tell me your name.' But he replied, 'What do you ask my name?' ? Then he blessed Jacob there." So that person that Jacob struggled with in the current Seule Bible blessed him. So that means he was superior. He had power over him. In Numbers chapter 1, verse 2, in New King James Version, you're told, "Take a census of all the congregation of the children of Israel, by their family, by their father's house, according to the number of names, every male individually." So you're told here that take a census of all the congregation of the children of Israel, the children, because it is not Israelites. It is the children of Israel, because that name was given to Jacob. New American Standard Bible, you're told, take a census of all the congregation of the sons of Israel, So the true term is the sons, the descendant of Israel, of Jacob. Now, those who were called Israelites were those who have fought spiritually, who have won spiritual battles. It is not you out there who try to claim, no, you are Hebrew Israelite, you come from Shem, when you don't even know black people true history. You don't know the source, you don't know the origin. Some of them, they're going to take the King James Version. They're going to, the so-called Israelites united in Christ. They're going to take the King James Version and they're going to claim, no, the King James Version is the authentic version because King James was black. So he's the one who was mandated to have the Bible transcribed or put forth. But in the same King James Bible, there's many confusions in that Bible. There's many errors, mistakes, lies. And if the verb allow, we shall share those contradictions in that King James Bible. So, the Hebrew Israelites, that doctrine is a false doctrine because they're not telling you the true history of black people. They don't know it. They are taking a branch, part of the lies that the white man already has spread and told them. Same from the Kamites, same for both of them. So they're in confusion. First, they don't even agree between each other. So that it is bringing division. There's only one teacher, Zulula 100, one message, and it is the message we are sharing. It is the truth, it is the source. There's one creator, Loba, the only and unique creator. So when they're going to call themselves Hebrew Israelites or Kamites, Hebrew, so they're going to use which language? Because the original text is not in Hebrew nor Greek. Those languages came way after. The first language is not the Hebrew, is not the Greek. It's not the Egyptians. So that was the message. All glory be to Loba, the only and unique creator.